Hi, today we are going to discuss about the remaining session of inter-process communication. So, in the first video, I have taught you about inter-process communication. So, what is inter-process communication? That means there are many processes are communicating with each other, that are sharing the resources. So they have to be communicated in such a way there should be no chances for deadlock and such mutual exclusions to critical sections, so and so. So here for the concurrency mechanisms, there are some tools that are used by our operating system. So such tools are queues, and second one mailbox or messages, third one pipes and sockets, then semaphores is a very important thing that you have already studied. Signals and RPC is used for distributed systems. So queue, message box, pipes and sockets, these methods are used for communicating data, and semaphores and signals are the two techniques that are used for trigger actions. That means to perform some actions, these two types of methods or techniques are used. So first we are going to discuss about the semaphores. So semaphores, here it is a programming language concept. It is proposed for IPC. IPC means inter-process communication. So here we having two elements, count and queue. So you have already studied that semaphores there is two operations, wait operations and signal operations. So what is meant by wait operations? So if wait operations always decrement the semaphore values. So the count is a value that is initialized to a non-negative value at first. So if the wait operation decrements the semaphore value, then and the value is negative, that means the process that executed should wait and would get blocked. എന്താണ്, അതായത് വെയിറ്റ് ഓപ്പറേഷനിലുള്ളപ്പോഴത്തേക്കും, അതായത് വെയിറ്റ് ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത് സെമാഫോർ വാല്യൂവിനെ ഡിക്രിമെൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. സോ ഇഫ് നെഗറ്റീവ് വാല്യൂസ് ഉണ്ടാവുകയാണെങ്കിൽ, ദറ്റ് മീൻസ് ഇഫ് ദ വാല്യൂ ഓഫ് ദ വെയിറ്റ് ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ഈസ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ബി നെഗറ്റീവ്, ദെൻ ദ പ്രോസസ് ദാറ്റ് എക്സിക്യൂട്ടഡ് ഷുഡ് വെയിറ്റ് ആൻഡ് വുഡ് ഗെറ്റ് ബ്ലോക്ക്. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് ഏത് പ്രോസസ്സാണോ എക്സിക്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് ആ പ്രോസസ്സ് വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് വെയിറ്റ് ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ഒരു നെഗറ്റീവ് വാല്യൂയിലോട്ട് പോകുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും. സോ if another operation is signal operations, so signal operation always increments the semaphore value. So if the value is positive, that means the semaphore can unblock one of the process from its queue, okay, and that process to ready queue. That means changing from the unblocked state, changing that process from the block to the unblocked state. That means signal operation will always increments the semaphore's value. So it goes to first the count is set to a non-negative value, then it becomes a positive value if signal is performed. If not positive, then semaphore will unblock one of the process from its queue and that process to ready queue. So to transmit a signal by semaphore, a process executes the primitive signal. So whenever a semaphore want to receive a signal, the process have to execute the primitive wait. അതോടൊപ്പം ഒരു സെമാഫോറിന് ഒരു സിഗ്നൽ ട്രാൻസ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ആ പ്രോസസ്സ് പ്രിമിറ്റീവ് സിഗ്നലാണ് എക്സിക്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. സോ റിസീവ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പ്രിമിറ്റീവ് വെയിറ്റും, ട്രാൻസ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പ്രിമിറ്റീവ് സിഗ്നലുമാണ് പെർഫോം ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. സോ അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ വെയിറ്റ് ആൻഡ് സിഗ്നൽ പ്രിമിറ്റീവ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അറ്റോമിക് വാല്യൂസ് ആയിരിക്കും. സോ പി ആൻഡ് വി ആർ ദെയർ. പി സെമാഫോർ ഫങ്ഷൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ഫങ്ഷൻ സിഗ്നൽസ് ദാറ്റ് ദ ടാസ്ക് റിക്വയർസ് എ റിസോഴ്സ് ആൻഡ് ഇഫ് നോട്ട് അവൈലബിൾ വെയിറ്റ്സ് ഫോർ ഇറ്റ്. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് പി സെമാഫോർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഫങ്ഷൻ സിഗ്നൽ ഒരു ടാസ്കിന് ഒരു റിസോഴ്സ് വേണം, ആൻഡ് ഓൾസോ ഇഫ് നോട്ട് അവൈലബിൾ വെയിറ്റ്സ് ഫോർ ഇറ്റ്. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് ഇറ്റ് ഡസൻറ്റ് ഹാവ് ടു വെയിറ്റ് ഫോർ. വി സെമാഫോർ ഫങ്ഷൻ സിഗ്നൽസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് the task passed to the OS that the resource is now free for the other users. That means ഇപ്പോൾ ആ റിസോഴ്സ് ഫ്രീ ആണ്, അതർ യൂസേഴ്സിന് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. അപ്പോൾ പി സെമാഫോർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവിടെ റിസോഴ്സസ് ഫ്രീ അല്ല, സോ ദ റിക്വസ്റ്റിംഗ് പ്രോസസ്സിന് വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും. വി സെമാഫോർസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്തായിരിക്കും, ഫ്രീ ആണ്, സോ അതർ ഇതിന് നമുക്ക് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് പറ്റും. So these are the different types of semaphores using. So first one is general semaphores, that means counting or PV semaphores. So its count can take any integer value. It is used for process synchronization. Then next one is binary semaphore, which is very very important. Binary semaphore is otherwise called mutex. So value of the binary semaphore, from the name itself it is binary, so it counts from 0 or 1. So it takes only two values, 0 or 1. So it is used for mutual exclusion purpose. Then the next one is strong semaphore, and then is weak semaphore. Strong semaphore is Q is implemented as the FIFO queue, while weak semaphore Q is implemented as priority queue. This you have studied FIFO queue and priority queue. So next is mutex semaphore. So mutex means mutually exclusive key. So here we are using a key value to implement this mutual semaphore. So here we are setting. So mutex is a binary semaphore usable for protecting use of resource by other task section at an instance. So that means if at an instance this binary semaphores or mutex is used for protecting all the resources by a task section. That means at a particular time, if process P1 is accessing the resources, and so this mutex is protecting those resources for the process P1. So let the key SM initial value equal to 1. That means we are considering a key SM which its initial value is said to be 1. So when the key is taken by the section, if the key SM decrements from 1 to 0, that means decrements means which operation is to be performed, wait operation has to be performed. That means if the key value is SM is decrementing from 1 to 0, the wait operation has to be performed. And if SM increments from 0 to 1, which operation has to be performed? Signal operation has to be performed. That means signal means that particular resource can be now accessed by other tasks also. So when SM equal to 0, that condition means assume that it has been taken and other task code section has not yet taken it. That means that resource is released, but the other process which is requesting for that resource has not yet taken. That means if P1 is holding that resources, and now P1 already released it, but at the same time P2 is not taken that resource. That condition is set when SM equal to 0. So when SM equal to 1, it means that the resources has already been released, so that P1 or any other task, or P2, P3 or any other task can now take the key and use the resources. So when it is 0, which means that other task code section has not taken, and when it is 1, the other task code section can now take the key. So next one method which is similar, which is like the semaphore method. Another method is signal method. So signal method, which is an software equivalent for a flag, that we have studied about the flags. So it is similar to a software equivalent of flag that is set on a registers. Okay. So if it is not masked by a, so if the signal is not masked, the signal allows the execution of signal handling function and allow the handler to run just a hardware interrupt allows. That means if it is not masked by a signal mask, it is not masked by a signal mask, then it can allow the execution of the signal handling function. That means it allows a function to run. So, and allows the handler to run just a hardware interrupt allows, and it runs just a hardware interrupt which allows the execution of an ISR. So what is ISR? ISR means interrupt service routine. So it produces a hardware interrupt. So that hardware interrupt signal will produce a signal handling function. Signal handling function will produce a hardware interrupt, and which in turns allows in the execution of a ISR. So what is signal? So it is simply a 1 or 2 byte IPC. IPC means inter-process communication used for signaling for a, it is 1 or 2 byte of information. So it is a provision for interrupt message from a process or task to another process. So there is a provision for interrupt message. So to interrupt messages are there from a process to one process. So when the IPC functions for signal are not provided by the OS, then the OS employs. So if the IPC function for signal is not provided, then OS automatically employs semaphores. So these are the pros and cons of using signals. So you have to read all this. So next one is queue. So it is also another method. So queue. So queue, here we are having in signal we are having a 1 or 2 byte data. Here we are having a message pointers. So in the OS provided queues, IPC functions for inserting and deleting the message pointers or messages in FIFO or priority. That means here we are using FIFO and priority mode. So each queue for a message need initialization. So for each queue for a message, so for a message in a queue, it need to be initialized before using the functions in the scheduler. So each queue either has a user definable size. That means each queue is a user definable size, or it is predefined one. So whenever a queue becomes full, there may be need for error handling and user codes for blocking. That means there may not be self blocking, that we have to use codes for blocking the task, or we have to use the codes for error handling. So these are the queue functions: create, post, post front, pend, flush, query, accept and delete. So the functions of in which criteria these functions are used are being noted in your note. I will give you a note in your class. So next is mailbox. So mailbox is another IPC technique. So here, through a message block at an IS. That means here we are using a message blocks. Message block is using in mailbox. So that can be used only by a single destination. That means only a single destination task can be used a mailbox. Here we are using messages. For messages it is using a message block. So each mailbox usually has one message pointer. So there will be only, that means only one single destination task is used, therefore only one message pointer which is used, which can point to the message. So next is OS mailbox functions. So these are the OS mailbox functions: create, query, post, pend, accept and delete. These are the three types of mailbox that are permitted by an OS. That first one is multiple unlimited messages queuing up. That means multiple messages. This is one messages per mailbox. Then next one is multiple messages with a priority parameter. That means a priority parameter is set for each messages. So next one is pipe. So it is a device. It is used for inter-process communication. It has also similar functions like create, connect and delete. So in a message pipe, it is a unidirectional. So it is similar to the Java IO strings that you have studied. So it is a device. Actually message pipe is a device. So it is used for writing and reading from that between two. That means it is used for inserting writing data and reading data that are in the interconnecting processes. That means if two processes are there in the IPC inter-process communication, so a message pipe is a device which is used for writing and reading of the data. So there will be having no fixed number of bytes per message. That means there is no fixed limitation for any message. So a pipe could be used for inserting the byte stream. So it is used for inserting the byte stream and deleting. That already I had said. It is used for inserting and deleting the bytes of data from the process or to the process. So next one, socket. It is a device which is similar to pipe, but the pipe is unidirectional. Here the socket is two directional. If there are many sockets, it is called multiple sockets. So sockets here, it means that it is used for establishing a closing a connection between source and destination process using a protocol. It is used for establishing and closing a connection. So next one is here multiple tasks at multiple distinct places interconnect through the socket. So next one is that client. If the client and the server is run on the same CPU, that is also possible, or the client and CPU can be in the distinct CPU. So socket can be using a different protocol or domain. So if two processors at two sets of ports interconnect through a socket at each other. The socket is actually hardware part. So two processors can communicate through this socket. So the main difference is pipe does not having a protocol, while the socket having a particular protocol. So a socket can be, it is very important, a socket can be a client server socket. Okay, that means a client and a server can be run on the same CPU using the socket. And also it can be a peer-to-peer socket. That means with distinct CPUs. That means one CPU is serving as a server and another CPU serving as a client. Then also it is possible having that is what is describing here. A socket can be a peer-to-peer socket IPC. Okay. So next is the difference between the pipe and socket. This already I have taught you. You have to read all this. Sometimes it may be asked as 5-mark question. These are the differences. So നിങ്ങളുടെ തേർഡ് മൊഡ്യൂള് ഏകദേശം കഴിഞ്ഞു. ഇതിൽ കുറച്ച് രണ്ട് പോർഷൻസ് ഒരു മിസ്സിംഗ് ഉണ്ട്. പ്രയോറിറ്റി ഇൻവേർഷൻ പ്രോബ്ലവും ഡെഡ് ലോക്കിൻ്റെ കാര്യവും. അത് ചെറിയൊരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ടോപ്പിക്കാണ്. നമുക്ക് ക്ലാസ് കിട്ടുവാണെങ്കിൽ ക്ലാസ്സിലെടുക്കാം. അപ്പോൾ ഇതുവരെ ഉള്ളത് നിങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും വായിച്ച് നോക്കണം, വീഡിയോ കാണണം. ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ വാട്സപ്പ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി, എനിക്ക് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞുതരും. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്കൊരു ലൈവ് സെഷൻ വയ്ക്കാം. എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നാലും നിങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞാൽ മതി, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഗൂഗിൾ ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ നിങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞാൽ മതി. സോ ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു.